let's just share and encourage one another in this topic. But as long as we are still struggling in this area, then we need to learn and get better.
One of the things of what that has come with exposure on an individual level is learning about the 50-30-20 rule.
And we think money is evil, like religion has taught us. But those are all lies. So if God gives you the power to make wealth, how can that He has given you power to make be evil?
At home, at work, in your business, with your friends, what is desired level of service to them? And lastly, unbelievable.
Okay, thank you once again for coming and in big numbers. This is really impressive. I'm happy. I'm glad you made it. We want to start this conversation with who are we with today. So you'll do names, obviously, and anything you want us to know about you. But I want you to give us also a fun fact about yourself. Yeah? And so let's go. Ladies first.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
It is a blessing and a pleasure to be here with you this evening. I'm Harriet Mutoni, Promise. A mother of 3, and fun fact, I love wrestling.
Okay, that is a surprising fact. Okay. Thank you, Harriet. Good to have you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Enock and I'm a friend. I'm your friend.
Are you sure?
Yes. A fun fact, that is something that has not registered actually. I fear horror movies. I think so. They terrify me.
Of course.
I can't keep up.
Of course they are horror movies. That is the intention of making a horror movie.
Yeah, there are people who enjoy them.
Oh.
So for me, I'm terrified. I can't keep up with the thrill and the uncertainty, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Enock.
William Kinon is my name. And like Enock said, I'm your friend also. Fun fact, I enjoy eating posho with milk.
Posho and milk. Who else enjoys that? We know what snack to bring you next time, people. Gusomera, that is the word. Huh? Okay. Thank you, William, and thank you all for accepting our invitation to talk about money. And I want to start this conversation off with also a fun fact, not about me, but when I was growing up, I had people say money is the root of all evil. Amafaranga kugira umuntu mubi. Did you hear that? What was that thing that you heard about money? Like what cultural attitude towards money influenced your financial stewardship? Anyone can go first. Anyone who has something, yeah. A myth that you had that you later discovered that it's not true.
Okay, I can go first.
Yes.
I think what comes to my mind so first is we used to think that people who have money give more money to people. Like, so when you're starting to get rich, then that should make you more of a giver. Yet, it is the other way. People who have money save it, like we've been learning.
Yeah.
So this has turned out to be something that, to me, yeah, it influenced my financial decisions in the early ages. But as you get to learn, then you find out, having money doesn't mean you save it. Sorry, you give it. Which at times even makes you give what you don't have.
Okay.
in the name of helping or serving, as religion puts it most of the times. Yeah, that was one of them.
Interesting. Let me tell you one of the things I've discovered. When you give what you don't have, you will always be broke. Always be broke. And that's not what we want to be tonight. Thank you, Harriet. Enock, any myth you had when you were young and you discovered it was not true?
I think we have lived it. All of us have lived it. When I was growing up and I was losing teeth, they used to tell us to put it somewhere, that you will find money. You will find money there. I will not say specifically which animal was bringing the money to that spot. You all know. But later you realized it wasn't true. There were generous parents who would put money in that spot they were directing us to. Especially, I remember a unique relationship that I had with my grandma. She used to make sure that she puts money in that spot. And later, when I was an adult, I realized it was also teaching me about saving. Keep money somewhere ready to grow, and you can tap it. So, thank you.
It's interesting you drew that lesson out of that. Me, I don't know. Nice. Thank you, Enock. William, what myths did you hear about money?
So, we grew up being told that people with money are evil. And so don't like money. So there's a difference between love and like. The Bible says the love of money. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say the use of money. So, and interestingly, it was a myth because I actually came to discover that when you are richer, you are better. You are a giver, you are happier, you help other people. So they used to tell us that, mukuna mafaranga, but we're in the world.
Yeah.
We're in the world and we can't run our lives without money.
Yeah. I love that you say that nimugakunda mafaranga, and the truth is iyo udakunda ikintu ntabwo kikuzira. True or not true? Iyo udakunda umuntu uramuhunga. When you don't like someone, you run away from them, and when they discover you don't like them, they run away from you. So you who doesn't like money, me, I keep telling people I like money, gift me money. So you who doesn't like money, it will avoid you and you will avoid it. But thank you for that. It is not true, like the money, but don't let it lead your... Apollo, what are you saying? Anyways, thank you so much for that. And I just want to follow that up with another question. So from where you were financially to where you are, something happened. You probably learned something. You were educated, like we're doing today. We're learning about financial stewardship. So what role has education or even continuous learning played in becoming a good financial steward? What role has that? And if you don't mind, you can share with us, this is what I learned about money and it's changed my perspective. Yeah? William, I'll have you go first this time.
Looking at my diary, I'd written some things down. Education, let me be honest with you. I only learned about financial management in one of my course units when I was doing my master's. But other courses were about, normal life. And I also analyzed most of the professors who were teaching us were broke. I realized that.
Okay.
Rain would shower them when they are coming to teach us. Then in my mind I said, I think these people don't live what they preach. So I had to do my own study. One of the things that have helped me I'm not where I want to be, but I'm somewhere. One of the things that have helped me is I intentionally learn. Life is about intensity, but you should be intentional to manage it. So I learned it's good to know how to read and write. We need education. But beyond that, do your own study. Read your own materials that can help. Learn about financial intelligence. Because when you have financial intelligence, it helps in your financial planning. When you have financial planning, it also helps in your financial discipline. So if you have no knowledge about money, then money rules you and dictates on you, and at the end of the day, you don't really make it in life. One of the things I learned from Miles Monroe, one of my virtual mentors again, he said that success is predictable and failure is also predictable. So if you can predict life by the way you are handling your life, by the way you are doing your things, then you can succeed. I don't know whether I've tried to answer.
Yeah. Enock, allow me, thank you so much for that. Can we appreciate him for that? Be intentional on learning about you know, finances and how to be a good steward of it. Enock, I want you to Enock didn't mention, but he's a founder, and you know, he runs an organization called Lead Minds Africa, and part of it, I know is, you know, there's his finances, but there's also sponsors and donors who give their money. So, and I believe that poses a new challenge when it comes to learning how do I show my sponsors and donors that I'm a good financial steward. So I want you to talk about the question again, continuous learning, how has it helped, but the approach, how has your approach evolved as you've learned about finances?
Amazing. Am I having a louder voice? Or? By the way, before I go into the question, I wanted to first recognize the presence of my brother, Daniel Chaudhry. I and Daniel have known each other for the past, and he's a phenomenal mover, like someone who is ambitious, who goes after goals, big things. And he's starting to do things in Rwanda. In October, he will be having the sales convention. And I can't be proud of you. I can't find ways to really support you, but you know, this is a community. So Rwanda is the safest nation on earth. You are welcome.
Guys, he just said Rwanda. Can you appreciate him for?
Yeah. As long as you are doing big things,
yep,
you're ambitious, Rwanda is a safe place.
Are you
for
sure
you.
You're not part of the Visit Rwanda campaign?
No.
Who sent
I'm just patriotic.
Okay.
So education and learning and continuous learning and finances. Education is everything. For me, first of all, where I need to start from is that education made it possible to open a whole new world for me. Secondly, what education did is it gave me exposure as an individual. So I am able to meet people who are really financial stewards, people who are wealthy. Like, they are no longer having this excitement of having money. Actually, for them, they are past the level of having money. Now they are into what William was touching around assets management. So liquidity, having money in the wallet, could be an issue with them. But when you are talking about investment and you are looking at how do we achieve a multi-billion dollar project, then you have them on board. So that is the kind of exposure that education has brought. So it has, for instance, I have two close friends. One became a millionaire in COVID, and he had put money, bought stocks since 1995, and he became a millionaire in 2020 when the whole world was suffering, and we were looking for, you know, give me $100, give me $50. He sent me a text celebrating becoming a millionaire. I had known him for 5 years. Are you getting where I'm driving this? So, another one owns a prime property, you know, somewhere on an island, and when he's talking about money, he's just peaceful. He's just peaceful. So, in line with the work that I'm doing right now, the biggest shift, the biggest mindset shift that has happened with me is to shift from looking at money from investors or donors as my own money. That is the biggest shift, financial mindset shift that has happened for the last now 4 years. You have to shift and you understand that the money that you have is not for your personal use, is for operational, is to make sure that you are growing a vision. And the vision is not just for a day, for a week, for a night. It is long term. So that is the biggest, that is where education has played a huge role. Secondly, you realize that, oh, okay, you are really growing this vision, but then your scope of accountability has also widened. You are no longer accountable to you. You are accountable to a whole board of directors. And even actually, it brings in the government. For instance, I run an entity that is registered in the United States. So I have to file annual returns with the Internal Revenue Service. So that brings in a whole scope of accountability. But I wouldn't be even talking about these kind of things if it wasn't for education in the first place. And continually learning things. One of the things of what that has come with exposure on an individual level is learning about the 50-30-20 rule. That when you have money, 50% is going into the things, the needs. 30% is for your, you know, for you want to go and have a pizza, you want to have a nice shirt. That comes in the 30%. Then the 20% goes to saving. You don't touch it. You save the 20% of the money that you make. So I will stop there.
Thank you.
For now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he deserves that. Exposure is key. Exposure is key, and that also ties around on who you're hanging out with when it comes to money. Because if your friends are spenders, it's very likely that you will be a spender as well. If they're not saving, it's very likely that you're not saving. So who you expose yourself to, but also education being a place where you're exposed to such things is something we need to keep in mind. It's interesting that someone who started saving in 1995, when I was negative something years old, became a millionaire in 2020. Guys, it takes time and it takes patience. So if you're saving 20%, as you're saying, and you think it won't get you anywhere, think about that man who became a millionaire in COVID. Thank you, Enoch. Harriet, what changed your financial mindset? And you said you are a mother when you were introducing yourself. What are you teaching your kids about money? What have you learned? But also, what are you teaching your kids? I want to assume they are young, they're still young, I'll assume, but you'll tell us. But what are you teaching them about money, even at a young age? Are you also among those who are telling them, put your teeth under so that brings money? So, yeah, tell us.
Thank you. Yeah, so I am one of those that put money under the pillow and yeah, thank you for the question. I think education in general really plays a very a tremendous role. Personally, what I have come to learn, one of them is, like you said, and like my brothers here have mentioned, education changes your mindset. So there is always a certain mindset that you need to have for a new level that you are going to be elevated to, or you have been elevated to. If you move to a new level without a new mindset, you will not be able to be sustained at that elevated level. Take an example. You woke up this morning. There are clothes that we call maybe night dresses for us ladies, and you guys maybe pajamas. You didn't come to work or to school with those clothes. Neither did you get this outfit you're having on and put it on top of those clothes. You had to remove them because you understood where you're going to. These clothes don't serve you. They don't serve the place and the work and the caliber of things you're going to be doing. So you had to change an outfit. But it is always interesting how humanity thinks that you will move to another level and then you will still apply the same mindset that you have been having at a certain level of life, or even, a certain level of life. So you need to really change your mindset. If you don't have a changed mindset about money, you will not be able to sustain whichever level you will get to. It is where they get what William was mentioning. Even if you were given $1 million today, if your mindset hasn't changed about money, you will still go back to the level that you are at today because your mindset. So what are some of the mindsets that have changed? I have had to change personally is changing my relationship with money. So we think money is paper, and we think money is senseless, and we think money is evil, like religion has taught us. But those are all lies. So money is not evil. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, He gives you the power to make wealth. So if God gives you the power to make wealth, how can that He has given you power to make be evil? Go to the New Testament. We see Christ feeling everything. He's all in all, like He feels everything, including what you don't think He feels, like money. Have we ever thought about that? So money is more than paper. Money is a being. It has senses. It hears, like my sister said, if you don't like it, one day it will not like you. Because it can sense. And liking doesn't come from you saying, no, I don't like you. No, I'm here having a mindset of saying, no, money is evil. You see, religion has really done a lot of wrong, where they tell you money is evil, but again they go to look for sponsors who have money to sponsor their activities and organizations and whatever they're going to run. But if it is evil, then why are you looking for people who have it? And then they believe maybe other things that they teach us is that if you have it, then you can't serve God. So tell me, now that you don't have it, are you serving Him? Guys, So those are all the things that I had really to change, that changed in me. I was like, no, develop a relationship with money. Develop a relationship with money. Not loving it like a master who will come and rule you, but as a partner who will work with you to fulfill the purpose that God has created him, because He has a purpose. Money comes in your life for a certain purpose. God knows how much you earn, not because He wants to hold you like in your neck and drag you. No, because He has appointed that money to do something. So there is an assignment that money has to fulfill. So when it comes in your life, in your hands, what are you going to do with it? Do you know the purpose it has been sent to you? Those are things like my teacher, he says, when you receive money, don't rush to, like there's a brother who was telling us, when you receive money, you start thinking what you're going to use it for. That is guhohotera amafaranga. You know, when you receive it, why are you thinking of what you're going to spend it on? Like, what is that? That is a fallen mindset. You know, that is a fallen mindset. I'm telling you. Because, do you even take a minute? Do you remember that you were the temple? Okay, I hope I'm talking to people who maybe have, you know, a belief system, not religious per se, but you know God. So you were the house of God. And in scripture, we see that one of the roles of the church, so you are the house of God, that means you are the church. And one of the roles of the church is to do what? Whichever comes in the church is purified, sanctified. So whatever money that comes to you, can you at least purify it, bless it, sanctify it, set it forth to fulfill what it has been sent to do? Because that is your job. Purify it. Purify it. And there is a power that it senses that you have even given to it. There is an understanding that says that you have attached to it. Again, money is a being. It is not just mere paper, it exceeds that. It goes beyond that. So purify it. Believe that it will do more than what actually it seems that it can do. Because it can do that. You might be having 100K and you do more than what someone who has 500 does. Because maybe you have understood the concept of blessing your money. So when you receive it, when I receive it, I'm like, no, I bless you. We are going to partner to fulfill your purpose and my purpose on this planet, because I know you have come in my hands because there is an assignment that you have to fulfill. You're going to do more than that you may seem that you can be able to do. We are friends. Like, I have learned to treat money as a partner, not as an evil thing that has come to make you not go to heaven.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, are you glad you came? Are you happy you came to this session? Yeah, this is a good one. Thank you, Harriet, for that. And I got an interesting question that I will ask later. When these people don't ask. William, the people here might think we are all talk and you know, we have read this in John Maxwell or somewhere else's book, but tell us a real life example of you as a good financial steward.
Testing 1, 2, yeah, thank you. So, when we were organizing my wedding, this is a practical example.
We have a witness here to tell us if it is true.
Yeah. When we were organizing my wedding, I had many people give me money. I raised about 6 to 7 million, I think so, my wedding. Yeah, Pasco was one of the finance guys. 2014. So you can imagine that money in 2014. So we did the wedding and I saved 3 million francs. Why? I became thrifty. So a friend of mine gave me one of the cars that I used for the wedding. I just put in fuel. I didn't hire a car. A friend of mine was a manager at one of the hotels there. He gave me a discount for the hall. So I was very industrious. I wanted to save. So in 2014, that was August. In October 2014, I had 3 million saved, and that's the money I started building my house. Why? Like for the honeymoon, we didn't go far. Because I told my wife that we shall go to honeymoon when we have a lot of money. We have to save now. So luckily we went somewhere, not a bad place, a 5-star hotel in one of the countries in the region here, I will not mention. And one of the friends of ours paid for us the room for 5 days in a 5-star hotel. What I was saving. So practically, at the end of my wedding, I had the money to start building. I didn't spend it. I have somebody who gave me good money in foreign currency. And we saved it and began to build our house. So it's possible. I didn't do a luxurious wedding. For example, for us, we did our wedding on the same day. So I knew that my wife's family, they will cook food in the morning. So I didn't spend money in the reception for food. People took sodas and water. And the wedding was nice. Yes, you guys were there. Then, later on, I invited a few people, family members, at around 10 when people are few. Then the people ate. So it's possible. We were able to build because I saved on my wedding. I didn't spend.
Wow. Honestly, I feel like the moral of...
I want to say is the power of visualization. When I was in university, one of the things I visualized the most was becoming the president and owning lots of property. Two things. When I was at Makerere. So the first money that I made, I had very many friends who were telling me, you know, you need to buy a very good car. It was good money. You need to buy a good car. You know, you are now elevated. It is nice to appear in a very good car. You will get all these big contracts. It happens. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But the moment I looked at this money, and it is money that I had not made before, I immediately switched it to my first property. So I feel like it was a very good, so up to now, it's something that gives me some money on a monthly basis.
Nice.
So I think that is what I could say right away.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I come from a culture where we treasure cows. So one of the things I do is, of course, when I get some money, is that I put some good heifers and, you know, back home. One of the other things was really to, whenever I get money, is of course I focus on how does it create value. So I have been lucky to support my parents to acquire some properties. So that's what I could say. Thank you.
Thank you, Enock. Harriet, some real life example. I want you to be thinking about your questions as I ask this.
Okay, so real life examples. One of them, as ladies, you know how we like to spend, right? Like you pass by a shop, you see, you know those things. So one of them is I've learned, or I've trained myself to get out of the consumerism ideology of when I want it, then I get it. Yeah, you train yourself. So I've learned to really train myself. So I ask questions myself, do you really need it? Or it's because it's in your mind? Because most of the time, you consume or you buy something not because you really need it, but because it's in your mind. Because you have it in your mind. You passed somewhere, you saw a shoe, and that shoe stuck in your head. And you're like, I'll get it, you know. So you're not going to buy the shoe because you need the shoe at that moment, but because you have it in your mind. So like William said, we saved on our wedding, but my husband and William are friends, so I think he was he was advised by him. And yeah, so we, as a family, of course, we decide how do we spend our earnings? Do we invest? Where do we invest? My husband is good at that part, so I usually take the I was going to say taking care of the home, that is my responsibility, and then I'll support him in the investment ideas he brings on board. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Harriet, for that. I still have some questions for you guys, but I want to give them an opportunity to ask. Who has a question? I see 1, 2, 3. So we have Daniel Chaudhry in the house. If you don't know who he is, I don't know where you live, what rock you live under, but we want to give him a few minutes after this session. So let's ask questions, and then, yeah.
Thank you so very much, I'm Eric. In so many questions I have about money, I want to ask 3. And the first one, Harriet has talked a bit about it, and I want you to put some light on it. What is money? Is money the paper that we see? Is the coin? Or there is more about money that we should know? And also William talked about stewardship as planning. What should we know about planning about money? Like, how can we plan for our money so that we might become good stewards? And my last question is, how much is much should someone have to be rich? How much is much should someone have to be rich?
Okay, I want us to take all of them at once. Can we note them somewhere? William, you've taken that. Let us know who you're directing your question to. Yes, Enock.
My name is Enock, and my question goes to William. And before I ask question about money, I'll say this first. There is a statement that says, when you buy things that you don't need, you are stealing from yourself. And the curve of richness should not at one time go down. It should be like igomba kubigenda exponential, not curving down. At some point, we see ourselves when at time we were rich than we are today. Does that mean we are bad stewards, poor stewards of money? When there's a time you were richer than you are today. And then, does being rich meaning being a good steward? Thank you.
Does being rich mean you're a good steward? Anyone else? I see one last question there. Okay. Big. Let's take the last one.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Intelligent Ange Dodier. Yes. Nabazaga Abanyafrika akenshi bafite mentalite yo kuvuga ngo dusevinga ibyabaye surplus, ariko ugasanga nyine biragoye akenshi ku Banyafrika kuba twavuga ngo mwebwe ibihumbi 100 ndafata 20% mbisevinge, kandi sometime numva nanjye ubwanjye I'm not satisfied. Yego, nashaka kubaza ngo se, is there the best way, or like uburyo bwiza, like hari uburyo buhari bwo kuba twavuga ngo uburyo bwo gukoresha income yacu n'ubu ngubu turasevinga 20, turaconsuminga 50, things like that. Rakoze.
Thank you, Intelligent. Hey, what a name. Let's answer these questions. William, please go first.
Now, we are really not experts. We are just sharing ideas. So don't think we have all the answers. We are just giving our opinions. How much is much? You know? Like Eric asked, like how much should you have to be called rich? Now that is a complex question. I think for me, it depends with your destination, your dream. What do you want? And for me, I think there is no limit to richness. Now, richness or being rich is quantified monetary wise. So rich people measure their wealth in terms of things. Rich people talk about things, cows, like Enock was saying, you know, buildings, you know, assets. I mean, it depends. What's your goal? It's only you who limits yourself. If your goal is to reach 100 million and you reach there and that's it, I think it's fine. But it varies from person to person. Does being rich make you a good steward? I think that's enough. I think because unless you inherited, being a good financial steward, yes, because unless you inherited or maybe stealing. Now research shows that 85% of millionaire Americans are first generation. In other words, Enock knows, like when you go to those guys, they have hustled. They very few, maybe 25% have inherited from their parents. But I can see in this room, very few of us have inherited or will inherit from our parents, so to speak. But you can decide to say that I want to be a good financial steward. One of the things that help people get rich is there is what they call delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. For example, if you spend all the money you have today, how are you going to live 5 years from now? Joshua Selman says that if you put on tomorrow's clothes today, you'll be naked tomorrow. If you put on tomorrow's shoes today, you'll be barefooted tomorrow. So, delay gratification. Right now, it's not a time to enjoy. Especially, I like telling people that when a lion is chasing you, you don't run like a dog is chasing you. Many of us in Africa are like we are being chased by a lion. We have come from very bad situations. So we need to run, save. In the West, if they say save 20%, for us here we should be saving 50%. What does it mean? It means I stay in a neighborhood I afford, I eat little food, even if it means foregoing certain things, because you will not die if you don't eat, if you miss a meal. Then, all rich people, Enock, have practiced this law of saving, the law of saving. So the only way money grows is when you save it. You can't have money that you have not saved. So rich people save. They have high appetite for saving. On the other hand, you know, somebody said you can reach the supermarket and say, you know, when I was poor, I couldn't afford this shirt. Now I have money. And money is telling you, spend me, spend me, spend me. And the other clothes is telling you, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. That's the mentality of poor financial disciplined people. Yep. Is there any other question or other people can add on?
There is something, an overlap that I'm hearing here. The overlap is this. The question, it is from the question that Enock is asking. let's not understand financial stewardship in terms of you have gotten maybe 10 million Rwandan francs and you go keep it somewhere in the room and it is sitting there for 10 years and you don't touch it, you don't make it grow. That is also financial stewardship. But we are looking at how you are using money to move from level A to level maybe Z.
Yeah.
One of the differences is between the financial stewardship and the people who are not financial stewards. Now we are in an age of financial excitement. All of us here, we are still, there is a certain, maybe William is out of it because now he has a partner. But this is what I mean. You make 10 million and you remember, oh, I have a friend called Enock, I have Jesse, I have Rebecca, let me call them and maybe we go to Dubai and party. Then all of a sudden you land at Kanombe and you don't have any coin left. Then you are poor for the next 10 years, but you had the chance of the 10 million and you did not multiply it. So financial stewardship is what that we are talking about right now, is in regard to multiplication.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. Harriet, what is money? They asked. Tell them, is it a paper? What is it?
That's a tricky question, but yeah, so money is, again, William said, we are sharing our insights, we are not experts. So my belief system is, yes, it is two-way. It is paper, the way we see it, so you can use it to purchase or do things, meet your need, but again, it is beyond paper. It is beyond paper. So it is spiritual. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question. You want me to throw more light beyond that? I'll give you scriptures that really, Hebrews chapter 11, where we read about faith and we see that everything that is physical came from the things that we don't see. So I believe that is one of them. One of the things that we see that came from the thing that we don't see is money. Again, like I told you, if Christ fills everything in the earth, under the earth, and above the earth, then everything is everything. So I would want to say, or even really I'm persuaded that yes, it is both paper, like it's physical, you can touch it, but again, it is also spiritual. Yeah.
Thank you.
May I add something?
Just 1 minute. In a minute.
I will not even go into 1 minute. I think also we need to bring in the cultural differences. In Africa, when I have 1 million in my wallet, I have money. Hey, I am counted as someone who has money. In other societies, you don't move with money in your wallet, or you don't move with money elsewhere. You don't have hard cash. Here we value hard cash. You find that someone has 300 million in his house stuck somewhere. There are people who are broke in terms of hard cash, but wealthy in terms of assets. In other words, if you are talking at a level that is higher, they can easily liquidate what they own to finance what they need. So that's also something that.
Wow, I love that. Can you easily liquidate what you own to finance what you need? Oh, nice. Did you know that? Was this a good conversation? Did you learn something? Help me appreciate these wonderful people. And I'll ask you, humbly request that you allow me end this panel session from here. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Let's appreciate them one more time.